Hello, educators, and welcome to Handy Dandy Educator. This is a safe space for us educators to have someone to talk to have a safe space to talk about things we're dealing with in the workplace, to learn from one another, to network, and all the things. This is a safe space. Now, let me go ahead and say, given that we're educators, we do have a certain um, we have a sense of decorum. I love that word because my professors used to use that word when I was in college. But anywho, we know how to be professional, but y'all, for real, this is not the space for that, okay? We're professional all day long, majority of the week. We can let our hair down some, okay? So this is not that space for us to be talking about um, these heavy topics and giving dissertations on them. This is not that. So yes, we want to be factual. We want to talk about things that are actually happening. However, this is for us to tap more into our feelings and to have support. The education field is a very it's taxing on the emotions, on the mental, and even the physical too. We all know this. We're educators. So if you're not an educator, then come on, you're welcome to. You're welcome to learn. If you're wanting to be an educator, you want to see what it's about, you're welcome. If you want to have insight on what educators or what it's like to be an educator, you're welcome as well. This is a safe space for everyone. So, no, it's not tailored to just educators. However, that's what this is. Okay, so let's buckle in. You know what? Go ahead and get you some tea, get you some coffee, get you some wine. Is YouTube gonna get me for that? Get you a happy drink, an adult happy drink, whatever you need to enjoy yourself and have a good time. That's what this is, okay? We're letting our hair down. So, y'all, spring break is upon us. Spring is upon us. Some of you have already been on spring break. Some of you are about to go on spring break. Some of you are on spring break right now. If you are on spring break right now, I'm a little jealous because I'm not. Our county decided to wait until the Easter weekend, which I get because that's usually how it works. But I don't understand how Easter falls on um, different points of each year. So each year, it's like one year it might be in March, one year it might be in April. Y'all, it throws me. And I always wonder every time Easter comes around, but I never take the time to look it up. If you understand the method to Easter and how they pick the date, put it in the comment section. But anywho, we are thankful. Also, um, although I am not a preacher and this won't be this is not a faith-based channel, I do want to put it out there that I am a believer. So you may hear me say a amen or thank you Lord, or speak about something spiritual or hearing something from the Lord, but this is not a faith-based channel. However, I am a believer, so I just want to put that out there. Anywho, so nevertheless, we're grateful and thankful for Easter. We're grateful for spring break. But for the people who are making you feel guilty or saying that educators don't need a spring break, y'all, please don't take it personal. And that's pretty much what I'm here to talk about, because I want you to enjoy your spring break. You deserve every bit of it. And I believe, or I like to believe, that people who talk negatively about a situation or it sounds just way off, usually that person or those people are not in the field. They don't really have a clue. They're not in it. If you're in it, you know. If you're an educator, when you know, you know. There's just certain things that an educator knows and understands that people who have not ever stepped a foot in the classroom, because that does make a difference. If you're, on that upper level, where you're working at the board and you've never been an educator, you might see things a little differently. But that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the outsiders who have nothing to do with education and think that educators get the easy way out because they get a spring break. And usually when we get spring break, most counties, from what I've seen, we get a whole week off. And I'm just here to say that you worked hard for it. So don't let anyone mess that up for you. Enjoy your spring break. Don't feel guilty. You don't have to explain yourself, because those who know, we know it is a very taxing job, unfortunately, for some people, give or take, if you, depending on your environment and all the things. For some people, it may not be as taxing, but for the majority, especially if you're working in a Title I school or a Title I county, because for the rural areas, I work in a rural area, some counties are all considered to be Title I or low income. And then you have the bigger cities, bigger states, the counties who have split. They might have some who have Title I. Then they might have some private schools. Then they may have some, oh, it left me. Let's see, Title I, private. Oh my goodness, how can I not get this? It'll come to me at some point. Anywho, depending on your situation, that will kind of determine your perspective of your job. Also, if you're a teacher, admin, counselor, therapist, psychologist, interventionist, whatever it may be, that gives a different perspective. Also, where you are in your career of education, how many years you put in, that might also have some kind of impact on your perspective of how tired you are, or you needing a break, things being different. If you're a veteran, shout out to you. If you have been teaching for 20 plus years, shout out to you. Please make note in the comment section if you have been teaching for 20 plus years. Also, I'm curious to know what has caused you to stay so long. Besides the basics, if you need the funds, and again, let's go ahead and put it out there. I understand. We understand that anybody who is in education is not in that field because they wanted to be a billionaire. We all get that. You had a reason for why you chose this field. You felt a call, you had a passion for it, you wanted to give back to the community. Whatever it is, some people may need the money, some people may not. Either way, you didn't join this field to become a billionaire. Now, that's not saying that you can't follow the Dave Ramsey plan or some other kind of financial success plan so that you can become a billionaire, because it can be done. Is it going to be easy? No. Probably harder than someone who's in another field. However, anywho, I'm getting off on a tangent. It could be done. It can be done. But if you are a veteran and you've been teaching for so long, you've seen the progression, the changes of education, the students, the families, the support. Please put it in the comment section. Let's talk about it, because I'm curious. This is a safe space. This is a place for us to talk about it, to learn from one another. And that's what we're here to do, because you take on a lot at school. You're trying to balance your home life, whatever that may be, whether you're a wife, husband, you're a caregiver at home to parents, grandparents, whoever, you have children. You have a lot going on outside of just school. You're not just an educator. You're an educator who has XYZ going on. Or better yet, let me put it in a better way. Let's frame it another way. You are a person who is an X, Y, and Z, whatever you got going on, who just so happens to be an educator. Let's put it that way. People first language, right? That's what they say in EC field. People first language. So that's who you are. That's what you have going on. Education is just a piece of your life. And so it is not meant to consume your life. But unfortunately, because of everything that goes on, depending on who you are and how well you can balance work-life balance, how well you can balance and filter out what happens at school and not taking it home with you, um, it can have an impact on you. And we don't want it to be a negative impact. We want you to be able to pour into the schools, the children, the community. We want to be able to pour into the community without it overtaking us and beating us down to the ground. So that's why we need our spring break, okay? Because we deal with so much at school. And we need the time to recuperate. Because let's be real, the work that you do at school, it doesn't stop after you clock out. A lot of people think that we just go to school, whatever your position is at school, you go to school, you do that job, and then you come home after you clock out at 3 o'clock, 3:30, right when the children leave, you leave. That's what people think. And a lot of us probably work after hours. We have that thing called contract hours. A lot of us work outside those hours. Some people are getting to school before school starts, way before school starts, way before children are getting there so that you can prep. And then some of us are staying after, or you're doing both, or you're leaving and then you're going home and doing more work. So, y'all, you have worked for it. Enjoy your time. This is what spring break is for. Please take advantage of it. And that means not having to explain yourself while you're on spring break. Just let it roll off your chest. Just take it, or let it roll off your back. Let it roll off. People don't understand. And it's not your job to defend. That's too much. For those who know, they know. And for those who don't, maybe you could be that example. Because at the end of the day, you need your break. And that's the whole point of spring break. So another thing with this channel, I really hope that this can become what I kind of feel in my heart or feel led to help happen. I'm an introvert. I don't like to do a whole bunch of talking with people. How's the weather and the basic questions and the fluff. I don't like that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is draining to me. However, I find myself, no matter the role that I've been in as an educator, I've been a teacher and other things, but no matter the role, I've always found myself um, encouraging someone at work. And not to be deep or anything, but even if it's just smiling at someone, people just tell me, I just listen to what people tell me. But people like to be smiled at. Sometimes there's people who come to work and they're not happy, y'all. And nobody's going to be happy 24/7. But why not be happy and then intentionally just, I don't know, I just feel like if I'm not feeling good, no, I may not be feeling good, whether that's physical or mental, but if I'm at work or whatever I'm doing or wherever I am, I'm going to try to make the best of it. So and then also I'm just naturally a smiley person, just kind of friendly, even if that's not me saying anything and just giving a smile. I think that goes a long way. So often I've kind of just found myself just hearing people out, not just students, not just parents, but people in the workplace, because people need someone who they could talk to, and not the gossip and all that extra stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who need support, people who need to be uplifted so that they can keep going on, keep doing the fight, doing the hard work. Now, one thing about the hard work, we're not going to work ourselves to the bone. We're not going to do that. Work ourselves till we're in the grave. That's not what I'm talking about. That is not what I'm talking about. Okay. The hard work to an extent. Okay. Anywho, people need someone to talk to in the workplace. But unfortunately, Some people don't have that luxury to have someone that they feel like they can vent to without it traveling around the whole county or traveling around the school. Someone knows about their business, or you want to have that what we call confidentiality, and it shouldn't have to be some serious setup for you to get that. But then again, it's up to us to know the people who we work with, know them, and have a little bit of discernment of who you can and cannot talk to, or what that relationship should be and what those boundaries should be. Because while everyone who's at the school may be qualified, a great educator, everyone has their strengths. Okay, I'll put it that way. Everyone has their strengths, and not everyone is meant to be someone's listening ear. Not everyone is meant to do that. Not everyone is meant to get up in front of everyone and be the showstopper or the spokesperson. Not everyone is meant to do that. Personally, I feel like that is not my calling, to be the spokesperson for everything and be the first one to stand up in front of a crowd doing something. That is not me. So my point is, have discernment when you're at your workplace and know who you can and cannot talk to. So basically, because not all of us have that opportunity or that luxury to have someone to talk to, that's the whole point of this channel. So I want for us to be able to talk and uplift one another, share experiences. We want to keep it positive. Yes, we do. We want to be mindful and respectful. And the good thing about YouTube, if you want to, you can create a filler, or what these students call, or the children say, a spam account. You can create a YouTube from an email that you don't even use, or you only use it specifically for certain things like spam, and you can use that here for YouTube so that you can talk and say what you want to say. If you're worried about people knowing who you are, where you are, XYZ, that's what this is. You can do that here, so you don't have to worry about someone taking your information and running with it. Now that's up to you, if how much you want to share. So keep that in mind. YouTube it's worldwide. So do with that what you can, what you want. And we're gonna make this work, y'all. We're gonna enjoy this. And I think that this can help us, just one, being able to get some things off your chest, having someone to listen to, having someone to vent to, and not wondering what's going to come of it. Also, y'all, I believe in therapy, Jesus in therapy. However, therapy costs some money, y'all. And sometimes some people's situations are not as deep as needing a therapist. Some people are. But sometimes you just really just need to be able to vent to someone and have someone hear you out and kind of help you think through or process a situation. That's what this is. Now, if you are having, this is a disclaimer that I probably should have put at the beginning of the video. While I do have counseling experience in XYZ. I am not a therapist. That's not what this is. So if you have some severe feelings, emotions, strong, heavy emotions, I recommend that you seek a therapist. And if it's very strong, then you might need to call that 1-800 number. But that's not what this is. This is for those who just need someone to vent to. We can call this a little educator family. Yeah. So y'all, I hope that this works out to be what I feel like it needs to be. I just kind of want to give back. There's no way for me to give back and help everyone when I can only be in one place at a time. And so I just want to help those out who want to stay in the education field, but they just need that support and that extra push. That's what this is for. Y'all keep doing a good fight. If you're a teacher or a 10-month employee, guess what? You have, let's see, about 3 months left, 3-ish months left, depending on where you're located. You got this. We got spring break. Enjoy your spring break. Get rejuvenated so you can go back and finish strong. We're finishing strong, y'all. We're going to make the best of it. We're going to highlight the good and the bad. We're going to deal with it and keep rolling. We're not going to put all our focus into the bad. We're going to focus on the good. So let that load off. If you're listening to this over the weekend, let's pump it up. Do your self-care. Do what you need to do so that you can go and have a great week. A great Monday. Sunday scaries who? That's what we're trying to do over here. Okay? So we're going to have a great week. If you're listening to this in the morning, we're going to have a good day. If you're listening to this in the evening, do what you got to do and give yourself a hard deadline, a hard stop time. Get you some rest so you can get up and have a good day. Because 9 times out of 10, some of that stuff you're worrying about, it's going to fix itself. Those issues that people are just being petty about, asking you questions that probably can answer themselves, give it some time. You don't have to be Superwoman, Superman, superhero. You don't have to be that. Be your best self. Do what you got to do. And the rest will handle itself. All right, y'all. If you enjoyed anything about this, if you think this is something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Tell your friends to hop on. We taking off, y'all. All right, y'all go have a good week. Thank you. See you next time.